Chosen one. Listen carefully. Heaven has stopped everything around you to speak directly into your spirit right now. You have been walking through a season that felt like confusion. But it was not confusion, it was examination. You were being tested in silence. God was watching not your lips, but your loyalty. When you prayed and nothing seemed to happen. When doors stayed closed, though your hands were clean. That was the test you didn't see coming. Heaven was weighing your love, not your words. You thought it was delay, but it was divine observation. Every time you chose forgiveness when anger seemed easier. Every moment you refused to curse those who hurt you. Every tear that fell on your pillow when nobody saw those were answers written in heaven's ledger. You did not fail. Chosen one. You passed. You see, love cannot be proven in comfort. It must be proven in contradiction. Anybody can praise when the blessings flow, but only the truly chosen can still say, God, I love you, when it feels like He's silent. You didn't realize that heaven was watching your reaction in the dark. You didn't know that angels were taking note of your heart posture when you were ignored, overlooked, misunderstood. That was the moment when your name was whispered in the courts above, they still love me. Your loyalty was tested in the absence of reward. The silence that almost broke you was not punishment, it was promotion disguised as stillness. God hid Himself, not because you were forgotten, but because He wanted to reveal what was real. Anyone can sing when the crowd cheers. But can you sing when the stage is empty? You did. That's why heaven has recorded this day as the day of your validation. There were moments when your faith trembled under the weight of uncertainty. Yet you still chose trust over fear. Heaven leaned closer each time you whispered, I will not quit. Every act of endurance became a heavenly testimony, proving that your love wasn't temporary emotion, it was eternal devotion forged in fire. And now, the very silence that once frightened you has become the sacred space where revelation flows. The absence that felt like loss was actually preparation for divine nearness. In the stillness, God sculpted strength in you. What felt empty was never void. It was filled with unseen glory waiting to be revealed. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 11, verse 4. The Lord is in His holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes see and test man. The test wasn't about what you could gain. It was about who you would remain. The furnace didn't destroy you. It purified your love. What you called loneliness was actually divine intimacy. What you thought was rejection was redirection. You weren't losing, you were being refined into something that carries heaven's fragrance. Now listen carefully, this is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. God wants you to understand that your love has been tested, and it has been found true. While others gave up when things didn't make sense, you stayed. You kept showing up. You kept believing. That consistency shook the foundations of hell. Because darkness cannot comprehend a heart that loves God with no conditions attached. There were moments when you almost gave up. Moments when your prayers felt empty. Moments when you wondered, God, are you even there? And yet, even with trembling hands and weary eyes, you whispered, I still love you. Heaven called that whisper worship. That small sentence became the loudest sound in eternity. Now heaven releases this word to you. You are moving from testing into testimony. The very areas where you were hurt will become the altars of your anointing. The areas where you were rejected will become the proof of your election. You were never abandoned. You were being authenticated. You are not common. You are a chosen one, marked by endurance, sealed by love, strengthened by the fire that didn't destroy you. So lift your head. Even if your heart is still tender, lift it because heaven is lifting your name. Lift it because God is proud of how you kept your love pure. He saw the nights you didn't post your pain, the mornings you woke up and said, "I'll try again." He saw, and now He rewards. This is your moment to stand boldly. If this message finds you and your spirit trembles because it's speaking your story, it's not by chance. Heaven scheduled this encounter. So, before you scroll away, take a sacred pause. Let your heart acknowledge what heaven already declared. You passed the test. Now, beloved chosen one, if this message speaks directly to your soul, take a prophetic act of agreement. Like, share, and comment the number 777 below as a declaration that your season of testing has turned into triumph. And if you haven't already, subscribe to stay connected, because what God is about to reveal next will crown what He began in you. Chosen one, heaven bears witness to what you endured when no one else saw. The world saw your smile, but heaven saw the nights you couldn't sleep. Every tear that fell was counted, every sigh recorded. You thought you were alone in your battle, but the truth is, holy witnesses surrounded you. The unseen realm was not silent. It watched in reverence as you held on to love when hate seemed easier. When you forgave the one who wronged you, angels bowed. When you prayed for the very ones who hurt you, heaven stood still. Love became your weapon, and mercy became your proof. You didn't realize it then, but every quiet act of kindness was a declaration before the throne of God that your love was real. There were moments when you wanted to stop trying. The weight of betrayal pressed against your chest like a stone, and yet you still whispered, "Lord, help me love again." That whisper moved mountains in the spirit realm. You were never weak for feeling deeply. You were strong for not allowing pain to turn you bitter. Your broken heart became sacred ground where heaven walked softly, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. In the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 16, those who feared the Lord spoke, and He listened and heard them. A book of remembrance was written. Understand this, chosen one, the test was not to expose your weakness, but to reveal your worthiness. God already knew the strength of His love within you. He simply allowed the pressure to prove it. When you cried, "Why me?" Lord Heaven answered, "Because you are the one who carries my heart." That is why the attack was so personal, because your assignment is rooted in compassion. Some people mocked your tenderness, calling it naive, but heaven called it divine. They saw softness, heaven saw strength. They saw vulnerability, God saw victory. Your tears didn't disqualify you, they anointed you. You were being refined for an assignment that only those who have suffered with love can carry. You were never punished, you were being prepared. Do you remember the times when you wanted to close off, to stop caring altogether, yet something inside wouldn't let you? That something was the Spirit of God guarding your heart from turning cold. You have a divine resistance to bitterness because your heart belongs to eternity. You cannot stop loving, it is heaven's mark upon you. In the secret places of your suffering, angels were instructed to stand guard. They did not interfere with your free will, but they surrounded you with strength. You may not have felt them, but every time you chose love instead of revenge, they rejoiced. Every time you kept quiet when you could have exposed others, they celebrated your restraint. You became the sermon that hell couldn't silence. Your story is proof that love endures all things. That is why you were attacked in your relationships, why you faced misunderstanding from those you tried to help. The enemy wasn't after your possessions, he was after your purity. But he failed. Your love was tested, and it passed. You are the evidence that God's nature can dwell in human hearts. When the world grows colder, your presence warms it. When others withdraw, you reach out again. You love not because it's returned, but because it's who you are. This is divine inheritance at work, God's character made flesh in you. Heaven's witnesses have recorded it, the moments you prayed instead of complained, the times you extended grace when you had the right to walk away. These things are not forgotten. They are testimonies written in eternal ink. There will come a time when God opens the book of remembrance and says before angels and men, "This one loved like me." So, breathe deeply. Chosen one, you don't need validation from those who misunderstood your kindness. Heaven already validated you. You don't need applause, you already have divine approval. Keep walking in love, not because others deserve it, but because you have been entrusted with it. There will be those who question your peace, those who can't comprehend how you still smile after all you've been through. Let them wonder. Your peace is not ignorance, it's inheritance. You have walked through shadows and learned that God's light never leaves. Every scar you carry glows now with proof that grace sustains what love begins. Remember this, always love, tested by pain, becomes unstoppable. What you gave in secret is returning multiplied. Heaven saw every act, every prayer, every tear. You are not forgotten, not invisible, not forsaken. You are marked, to remembered, recorded, and cherished. So walk with quiet confidence. The holy witnesses that once observed your trials now surround you in celebration. You passed the test that many could not even face. And though the world may never fully understand the cost, heaven knows and heaven remembers. There were nights, chosen one, when heaven's silence felt like abandonment. You cried out and the sky gave no answer. You looked for signs, but found only stillness. It wasn't punishment, it was process. God was not ignoring you. He was inviting you into a deeper faith that doesn't rely on evidence. When everything familiar faded, your heart kept whispering, "I still believe." That whisper shook the unseen world more than any shout could. The silence you felt was not absence, it was the sound of heaven listening. For in divine mathematics, when God seems quiet, He is often working the loudest. You wondered, why can't I feel Him anymore? But, beloved, even Jesus cried on the cross, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" If the Son of God experienced silence, how much more will His chosen ones? Yet the silence did not mean separation. It meant preparation for revelation. God was shaping your hearing, teaching you to recognize His whisper in the wind rather than His thunder in the storm. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." There's a kind of worship that is born only in the dark, the worship that says, "Even if I can't feel you, I'll still follow you." That's the sound that terrifies hell itself, because demons can imitate words, but they cannot imitate endurance. Your endurance has become your loudest prayer. Heaven saw how you kept your hands lifted even when your heart was heavy. Heaven saw how you refused to let bitterness take root. That is why your silence became a sanctuary. God turned your emptiness into evidence. What looked like unanswered prayer was actually divine pruning, removing distractions so that only genuine devotion could remain. There's a sacred secret here. God's silence is never empty. It's filled with the weight of destiny. In the stillness, your roots went deeper. In the loneliness, your love grew stronger. You weren't being punished, you were being perfected. And when heaven tests love, it always rewards it. Sometimes, when God hides, He is actually protecting you from premature blessings, from counterfeit connections, from distractions that would dilute your purpose. He withdraws His tangible presence so you will learn to walk by truth instead of emotion. And in doing so, He matures your faith until it becomes unshakable. When you look back, you'll realize the silence wasn't a void, it was a classroom. You were learning the language of heaven trust. And that trust, once tested, will now carry you through every future storm. You don't need proof anymore. You have presence, not always felt, but always real. Do you understand now why heaven stayed quiet? Because your heart had to be refined until your faith no longer depended on feelings. You passed that test. And now, when others crumble under delay, you'll stand and guide them with the wisdom you've gained from silence. Your tears taught you more than sermons ever could. Your stillness became your sanctuary, and your unanswered prayers became the very foundation on which your calling is being built. This is how the chosen are formed, not in noise, but in holy quiet. So, chosen one, when you face silence again, and you will, don't fear it. Recognize it as an invitation. It's the sound of heaven trusting you with maturity. It's proof that your faith has graduated from needing constant reassurance to walking in quiet authority. Let this truth settle deep within you. What you call nothing happening is often God rearranging everything behind the scenes. The silence is not empty, it's sacred. It means heaven is about to speak in a new way, and your heart is being tuned to hear it. Now, pause and take a breath. Think of the moments when you thought you'd lost everything, only to discover later that God had been building something better. That realization is the fruit of silence. That peace that now rests on you is not random, it's earned through waiting. And as you sit in this moment, heaven whispers through the stillness, you didn't fail, you grew. The quiet places were your training ground, your preparation for greater glory. The ones who survive divine silence carry a power that noise can never produce. If this truth resonates deep within you, write this simple declaration in the comments, I still believe. Type it not as routine, but as revelation, as a statement that even when heaven is quiet, your faith will not fade. Every time you declare those 3 words, you remind the universe that your love for God is unbreakable, that you walk not by sight, but by divine certainty. You may have been tested through silence, but now you walk with the wisdom of those who have heard God in the stillness. And that, chosen one, is the sound of true victory. Chosen one. Every act of obedience you gave in the shadows became a shout in heaven. You didn't realize that every yes whispered through trembling lips echoed through eternity. The weight of obedience is never light. It demands surrender when logic says run. It asks for faith when the world calls you foolish, but you chose obedience anyway. And that is why you are being remembered now. When God called you to love without recognition, you obeyed. When He asked you to release what you wanted to keep, you obeyed. When He told you to bless those who misunderstood you, you obeyed. The world saw weakness, but heaven saw worship. Because true obedience isn't glamorous, it's costly. It's the kind that strips away pride and replaces it with purpose. The prophet Samuel once reminded King Saul that obedience is greater than sacrifice. You, chosen one, lived that verse without even knowing it. You didn't bring your offering to a temple, you offered your will. You didn't burn incense, you burned your comfort. That is the aroma God cannot resist, the scent of surrendered love. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy. Chapter 5, verse 33. Walk in all the ways that the Lord your God has commanded you, so that you may live and prosper and prolong your days in the land that you will possess. When others mocked your restraint, saying you were missing opportunities, you didn't explain yourself. You just kept walking. You obeyed when obedience cost reputation. You obeyed when obedience meant walking alone. And that is why the oil of heaven rests upon you now, because oil is always produced through crushing. The weight of obedience has shaped your walk. It taught you patience when you wanted acceleration. It taught you humility when you wanted vindication. It taught you stillness when everything in you screamed for movement. Obedience built a quiet confidence in you that no applause can replace. You've learned that obedience doesn't always feel powerful. Sometimes it feels painful, confusing, and unseen. But the reward of obedience is not always immediate, it's inevitable. Heaven never forgets a yes that costs something. Every time you laid down your will, you were building an altar. And now, heaven is about to breathe on those altars again. God tested your love through commands that didn't make sense. He asked you to stay when you wanted to leave, to give when you had little, to speak kindness when bitterness tried to bloom. Those were not random moments, they were divine rehearsals for your next assignment. He was teaching you to lead by example, not by convenience. When Abraham lifted the knife over Isaac, it wasn't cruelty, it was a demonstration that obedience births covenant. You may not have faced a mountain like Moriah, but you've had your own altars of surrender. Each one carved something eternal into your heart. Each act of obedience refined you until your love was no longer performance. It became partnership. And now, chosen one, you stand in a sacred paradox. Your surrender has become your strength. You don't fight for control anymore, because you've discovered that the safest place is under divine instruction. You no longer chase answers, you follow the whisper. This is what maturity looks like: obedience without explanation. Sometimes obedience feels like walking blindfolded through fire, trusting that God won't let the flames consume you. But you've discovered something remarkable. The flames that tried to burn you actually revealed what cannot be destroyed. What survived the fire is the truest version of you, pure, faithful, unyielding. You've become a vessel heaven can trust. When God says move, you move. When He says be still, you don't resist. That kind of obedience cannot be learned in comfort, it's learned in crucifixion. It's the daily dying of pride, the quiet surrender of control. Yet in that dying, life blooms holy, radiant, unshakable. There were times obedience meant walking away from what you loved, and you wondered if you'd ever feel whole again. But what you didn't see was the divine trade every time you gave up something temporary. Heaven prepared something eternal. What you called loss was actually exchange. Now, look at your journey. Every boundary you honored, every instruction you followed, every restraint you chose it, all built a history between you and God that no one else can imitate. You have a record of faithfulness written in invisible ink across your days, and that record testifies louder than words ever could. So rest, chosen one. You don't need to prove your devotion. It's already proven. You have walked through the weight of obedience and come out shining. Heaven has witnessed your surrender and sealed it with favor. You are not the same person who first said yes. You are wiser, purer, and closer to the heart of God. In the end, obedience is love made visible. It is the evidence of intimacy, the echo of trust. You have lived it, breathed it, carried it, and now it carries you. The weight that once pressed you down has become the wings that lift you higher. Chosen one. Do you remember that night, the one where you almost let go, the night when your pillow was soaked and your heart whispered, "Maybe I can't do this anymore"? That was the edge of your test. Heaven watched as you stood at the cliff of surrender, wondering if it was all in vain. But you didn't fall, you fell forward, into grace. Your surrender wasn't weakness, it was worship. Every tear you shed was an offering. You didn't realize it then, but your pain was producing perfume, like oil pressed from the olive. Something fragrant began to flow from your suffering, something heaven recognized as pure devotion. You thought that breaking was the end, but it was actually the birth. In that night of almost giving up, God wrote a new beginning in invisible ink. And when you awoke the next morning, still breathing, still believing, heaven rejoiced. You had crossed the line where many turn back. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." There's something holy about staying when you could have quit. Heaven never overlooks persistence. The angels take note of hearts that still whisper, "I believe," after the wind has howled and the rain has bruised. You are such a heart steady, scarred, shining. And because of that, the time has come for others to hear your story. Your endurance isn't just personal, it's prophetic. Someone out there is standing at their own edge right now, ready to give up. Your voice, the one born in breaking, will be the one that keeps them standing. That's why your story must be shared. When you share, you plant seeds in others who have no strength left to hope. Your testimony is rain for their deserts. Your words are bridges for those drowning in doubt. The story of your almost will become someone else's survival guide. So, when this message reaches you, don't scroll past it as if it's just another post. Feel the heartbeat behind these words, heaven using a simple moment to tell you, you matter, your journey matters, and your story must not stay hidden. If this message breathes life into your soul, let it ripple outward. Share it like you would share a candle in the dark. Let your small light touch another flame. Sometimes the greatest offering you can give isn't money or fame, it's testimony. But if you feel led to go further, to support the creation of more messages like this that awaken hearts worldwide, consider giving as an act of gratitude, not obligation. Donating is like pouring water on the soil of hope. Every drop, no matter how small, helps another heart bloom. Every act of generosity fuels another story of redemption. Think of it as participating in heaven's harvest. You give what you can, and God multiplies it beyond sight. And if you can't give, your prayer, your share, your comment is already a seed. Even pressing like is not a small thing. It's a way of saying, I hear this truth, and I agree. Each small act is a ripple that heaven notices. You are not supporting a message, you are sowing into movements of awakening, healing, and purpose. Every time you share, an unseen chain breaks. Every time you give, another soul finds light. This isn't marketing, it's ministry disguised as media. When you subscribe, you aren't following a channel, you are joining a circle of believers who refuse to let darkness speak the last word. You become part of the family of the faithful, those who were tested and found true. Your heart has already given so much through endurance. Let your faith now flow outward. Let others taste the peace you found through pain. Let the story that tried to destroy you become the story that delivers someone else. You stood at the edge, and you didn't fall apart. You fell into purpose. That purpose is calling you now, not to strive, but to shine. You are not just a survivor, you are a signal fire for the weary. You are proof that love outlasts the night. So breathe deeply. Look back with gratitude, not regret. You passed through the shadow and found the sunrise. What once felt like the end has become your beginning. And now, heaven says, rise and share what I've done. If this message feels like it was written for you, and perhaps it was, then hold it close for a moment. Let gratitude rise within you. Then, as a simple act of reflection, give. Like, share, or subscribe, whatever love leads you to do. Because every spark you release keeps another soul's fire alive. You are not alone. Chosen one, you never were. And your obedience to stay, your courage to endure, and your willingness to share. Now, these are the final proofs that you have passed the test of love. Chosen one, you have walked through fire, and yet you stand here, glowing. The flames that once threatened to consume you only refined you. Every betrayal, every delay, every moment that broke your heart was not wasted. It was fire sent to reveal gold. You thought you were losing everything, but heaven was actually burning away what could never stay. This is the refining fire where love is proven pure. It's the place where motives melt, pride dies, and faith becomes unshakable. You have been through that fire, and it did not destroy you because it could not touch what was eternal inside you. The pain didn't remove your love for God, it purified it. When the heat grew unbearable, you wondered, Lord, why am I still here? And heaven whispered, because I'm not finished forming you. The furnace was not meant to kill you, it was meant to reveal who you've always been, a vessel of holy endurance. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, they are my people. And they shall say, the Lord is my God. You didn't know that every unanswered question was part of your purification. You didn't realize that God allowed the delay to stretch your faith, not break it. The fire made you transparent. It burned away what was temporary so that only what was eternal could remain. Some people saw your suffering and called it failure, but heaven saw your silence and called it strength. You didn't defend yourself. You let God speak for you in His time. You didn't chase vindication. You chose refinement. That is what separates the chosen from the common. Now, heaven says, the process is shifting. The fire that once felt consuming will soon turn to light that guides others. Your scars will shine as proof that purification is not punishment, it's promotion. You carry a depth now, a holy steadiness that cannot be shaken by storms. This is the reason your heart feels different. You no longer react the way you used to. You don't crave what you once chased. The things that once offended you now pass through you like smoke. That's what happens when gold has been tested. It no longer fears the fire. Chosen one. Can you sense it? The air around you is changing. The furnace is cooling. The lessons are settling like holy dust upon your soul. You have learned patience that cannot be taught, love that cannot be imitated, and trust that cannot be shaken. What was meant to destroy you has defined you. You are no longer shaped by your wounds. You are sculpted by grace. Your past no longer pulls you, it propels you. The very fire that humbled you has crowned you. Now, look around. The ashes you stand on are not ruins, they are the soil of rebirth. Flowers of purpose are beginning to bloom from the places you thought were dead. You are living proof that beauty still rises from the burnt places. You are the testimony that the refining fire was worth it. The Lord is saying to you now, I trust you with my glory because you did not despise my fire. That trust is not given lightly, it is earned through endurance. Heaven only rests upon those who have been emptied of everything that competes with love. And you, beloved, have been emptied well. Pause here and let this truth sink in. The refining was never about punishment, it was preparation. You were not burning for your sins, you were burning for your calling. The impurities of fear, pride, and doubt had to melt so that your spirit could carry greater weight. You may not realize it, but the glow others see in you now is the reflection of heaven. You carry the warmth of the refiner's flame. That's why you bring peace where others bring panic. Why your presence feels safe. Why your words now heal instead of hurt. You've become a vessel of divine comfort because you were willing to be refined. So if you feel this message burning gently inside you, that's heaven's confirmation. You have passed through the fire and come forth pure. Take this moment to declare it in faith. Comment the number 444 below as a prophetic sign that the refining fire has completed its work in you. The number 444 symbolizes divine alignment and completion after testing. It means heaven is bringing structure to what was once chaos. When you write it, you are not just typing digits, you are declaring, I am refined. I am ready. I am gold in the hands of God. You are not the same person who entered the fire. You are lighter, clearer, freer. You are love tested, faith proven, purpose purified. Heaven smiles upon you now. Not because you survived, but because you were transformed. Chosen one. Something has shifted in the unseen. Heaven has taken note of your endurance, and the winds of recognition are beginning to stir around you. For a long time, it seemed as though your obedience went unnoticed, as if your sacrifices disappeared into silence. But every silent seed has a season of sprouting, and yours has arrived. The turning point has begun. You may not feel it yet, but heaven has already whispered your name into new rooms, into hearts that will honor what others ignored. The seasons of hiddenness were not a waste, they were your divine apprenticeship. You were being shaped for a level of visibility that requires purity of motive. And now that purity has been proven, the unseen years were holy years. While you cried in the shadows, heaven was building foundations that fame could never corrupt. While you felt forgotten, you were actually being protected from premature exposure. Sometimes God hides you, not because you are unworthy, but because the world isn't ready for what He's shaping in you. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. That verse is more than wisdom, it's your timeline. You trusted when you didn't understand. You believed when logic gave no reason to. And because of that trust, heaven now turns the page of your story. The atmosphere around you is shifting to align with your refinement. People will begin to sense something different when you enter the room. They may not know what changed, but they will feel peace, clarity, and conviction because you carry the residue of the refining fire. You have become a walking revelation of endurance. Do not fear this unfolding. You are not being exposed. You are being revealed. There's a difference. Exposure reveals flaws, but revelation reveals purpose. God is not showing the world your pain, He is showing them your perseverance. You are His message written in motion. There were prayers you prayed that seemed unanswered, but heaven delayed them so that when they came to pass, your character would be ready to sustain the blessing. The promise without the process is a burden. That's why God waited. Now, you've been proven. The waiting purified your heart until you no longer chase opportunity, you attract it. You've become magnetic to divine timing. The right people, places, and moments will start aligning effortlessly. It's not luck, it's order. When heaven finds a heart that's been tested and remains tender, it commands alignment. You've entered that rhythm now. The rhythm of recognition born from rightness of heart. But even in this shift, remember, stay small before God. Let humility guard your new elevation. The same God who hid you now reveals you, but He reveals you for His glory, not for applause. Keep your hands open, your heart clean, and your eyes fixed upward. Every gift that rises without pride becomes an altar of gratitude. In this turning point, the people who once overlooked you will begin to remember you, not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. Heaven will place your name in their thoughts, your work in their path, your purpose in their awareness. You don't have to announce yourself. The fragrance of faithfulness travels farther than any self-promotion ever could. This season of recognition will not come through struggle, it will come through stillness. You will simply stand, and things will find you. You will speak, and hearts will open, because when God decides to reveal, effort becomes ease. You are stepping into that ease now. Yet, do not forget the lessons of the wilderness. The very humility that carried you through silence must now protect you in visibility. The temptation will be to move faster, to seize every opportunity. But remember, the same God who promoted you can sustain you only through continued obedience. Move with patience, carry peace into every open door. You have become trustworthy. Heaven can now use your name as an example of endurance rewarded. Angels who once stood beside you in testing now go before you in preparation. The same way the dawn cannot be hidden once the sun rises. Your light cannot be contained any longer. Still, this light is not for display, it is for direction. You shine not to be seen, but to guide others who are still in the dark places you once walked. You are not the end of the story. You are the messenger for the next chapter in someone else's transformation. So walk softly, chosen one of God. The turning point is here, and heaven smiles at your quiet strength. What you sowed in tears will soon bloom in public joy, and every invisible moment will prove its meaning. You have been recognized not for performance, but for purity. Heaven has whispered, "They still love me." And the whole atmosphere now bends in agreement. Chosen one. The moment of unveiling has come. What was hidden from you is now beginning to unfold. The fog is lifting, and what once made no sense is aligning like stars, finally forming a constellation. You are starting to see why it had to happen the way it did. Every delay, every denial, every closed door was part of a design far greater than you imagined. You spent nights asking why, but heaven was answering when. You were seeking explanations while heaven was building timing. And now, divine timing has arrived, not late, not early, but precisely when your heart is able to handle what your hands are about to receive. The divine reveal is never loud. It comes softly, like dawn after a long storm, lighting everything with a new clarity. You begin to see the fingerprints of God in places you once thought were abandoned. The betrayal that broke you now reveals itself as protection. The loss that crushed you shows itself as preparation. You were never being punished, you were being positioned. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 3. I will give you the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that you may know that I, the Lord, who call you by your name, am the God of Israel. Those treasures of darkness are the very lessons you found in pain, the strength you discovered in weakness, the faith that grew in waiting. The hidden riches were never gold or silver, they were wisdom, patience, and discernment forged in your suffering. God hid those treasures in the very places you begged him to remove. Now the covering is lifting. You're beginning to understand that your closed seasons were not signs of God's absence, but evidence of his attention. When a painter works on a masterpiece, he often covers it until the final stroke is done. God did the same with you. He hid you until the picture was ready. Every disappointment was a divine brushstroke. Every heartbreak added depth and texture to your soul. You thought your story was being erased, but heaven was just rewriting it in colors you couldn't see yet. Now, as light touches the canvas of your life, the image begins to make sense, a portrait of endurance painted by grace. You've reached the moment where heaven begins to explain what hell tried to destroy. Those unanswered prayers, they were waiting for maturity. Those sudden endings, they were exits from counterfeit connections. Those seasons of silence, they were the soil where divine understanding was growing underground. The reveal always comes after refinement. God never explains himself in the middle of the fire. He waits until you've come through it. Only then can you see that what looked like ashes were actually embers preparing to reignite. And here you are, standing in the light of comprehension. Your spirit feels lighter because confusion has begun to fade. You're realizing that you were never lost, you were led. You didn't wander, you were being woven. You didn't fail, you were being formed. In this revelation, gratitude begins to bloom where grief once lived. You start to thank God for the very things you once resented. You thank Him for unanswered prayers, for closed doors, for painful endings, because now you see they were all part of the divine architecture of your destiny. You no longer need explanations, you have understanding. And that understanding brings peace, a peace not dependent on circumstances, but grounded in trust. You can rest now, knowing that the author of your story wastes nothing. Every line, even the painful ones, were necessary for beauty to emerge. This season of unveiling is gentle but undeniable. You will notice divine confirmations appearing everywhere, conversations that mirror your prayers, opportunities that echo your dreams, people sent at the exact right time. These are not coincidences, they are signals that heaven is aligning your path. But remember this, the reveal is not a reward, it is a responsibility. God shows you what was hidden, not to inflate your pride, but to increase your purpose. You are being trusted with insight that others will need. You have seen behind the curtain so that you can guide those still walking in mystery. So, receive this clarity with humility. Hold it close, but share it freely. Speak life from a place of revelation, not revenge. Let your understanding heal, not expose. You were hidden so you could emerge holy. You were silent so that when you speak now, your words would carry the weight of heaven. Chosen one. This is your unveiling. Step into it with gratitude, not entitlement. Let every realization remind you that God never wastes a tear, never missteps a moment, and never hides something unless it's meant to be revealed in glory. You are walking into visibility wrapped in wisdom, carrying light born from darkness, and wearing peace as your proof. The mystery has served its purpose. The reveal has begun. Chosen one, your love has become warfare. You may not realize it, but every time you chose forgiveness instead of retaliation, you were fighting battles that could not be seen. When you prayed for those who wronged you, heaven heard a sound that hell fears, the sound of mercy in motion. Love became your sword. Compassion became your armor. You were never defenseless, you were divinely armed. In the unseen courtroom of heaven, the enemy accused you. He pointed to your pain and said, "They'll give up. They'll turn bitter. They'll stop believing." But you didn't. You kept loving. You kept interceding. You kept blessing. And every time you did, another accusation was silenced. Your love spoke louder than your wounds. It silenced the voice of the accuser, not by argument, but by endurance. You became the living rebuttal to every lie that said, "They'll never make it." You did make it, and you made it without losing your tenderness. That is victory. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 12, verse 21, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." That verse wasn't written for the comfortable, it was written for the courageous. It's the anthem of those who choose to love while bleeding, to forgive while remembering, to bless while breaking. You, chosen one, are among that rare kind. Your kindness is not naive, it's nuclear. It dismantles darkness quietly, powerfully, relentlessly. There is a reason the attacks against you felt so personal. The enemy wasn't after your possessions, he was after your purity. He wanted to contaminate your heart with bitterness because he knows that a pure heart carries heaven's authority. But you refused to let pain distort your character. You guarded your spirit. And because of that, you have become untouchable in the realm of purpose. Every insult that was meant to poison you became the soil where love took root deeper. Every betrayal that tried to close your heart only enlarged it. Your love is now weaponized, not in cruelty, but in compassion. You can walk into chaos and bring calm. You can face rejection and still radiate acceptance. That's what happens when love matures. It becomes militant in peace. Chosen one, you are a threat to hell because you love like heaven. You carry a softness that doesn't shatter under pressure. You carry a peace that cannot be stolen. A mercy that keeps flowing even after it's been misunderstood. You love not for reaction, but for revelation. And that kind of love transforms every battlefield into holy ground. There were times you wanted to withdraw, to stop caring, to build walls instead of bridges. But something divine inside you refused. That resistance was not weakness, it was proof that you belong to the light. You can't stop loving, because your DNA is divine. The Spirit of the living God breathes through your compassion. Understand this truth: love does not lose in the end, even when it seems defeated. It is only sowing victory in silence. Love never dies. It resurrects. It's the same power that raised Christ from the grave now working through you. Every time you love again, you prove resurrection is real. Your presence terrifies darkness, not because you shout, but because you shine. The enemy cannot comprehend a soul that keeps forgiving. Demons flee from people who carry genuine mercy because mercy mirrors God's own nature. You, beloved, have become a mirror of heaven. So when you walk into rooms, understand this: you're not just entering, you're invading. Every atmosphere you touch must shift. Love has made you a living weapon of light. That's why opposition increased recently. It's confirmation of your impact. You don't have to fight harder. You simply have to stay softer. And now, heaven calls you to one prophetic declaration. It's not long, not loud, but it carries power. Type in the comments, "Love wins." Write it not as a slogan, but as a decree. Because every time you affirm those two words, you reinforce heaven's strategy. You remind every force of darkness that it cannot outlast compassion, cannot outthink grace, cannot overpower mercy. You declare that love is not just emotion, it's dominion. When you type, "Love wins," you're aligning with eternal truth. You're saying, no matter what tried to break me, I still choose love. You're testifying that your scars are not signs of defeat but seals of endurance. You're proclaiming that the battle is over, and love stands victorious. Remember, chosen one, your greatest warfare is not waged with anger, but with affection. The enemy never knows what to do with a person who cannot be provoked. You are that person now, unshakable, unstoppable, unoffendable. You are heaven's soldier disguised as a servant. You fight not to destroy, but to heal. You conquer not by control, but by compassion. And that, beloved, is why you have already won. Chosen one. Heaven has placed a seal upon your name. The test has ended, and the results are eternal. Your love has passed through every fire. And now, heaven recognizes you as faithful. What once felt like silent suffering has become sacred testimony. The season of proving is over. The season of purpose has begun. The air around you has changed. It carries the fragrance of approval, the same scent that surrounded Daniel when he emerged from the lion's den unharmed. the same light that glowed on Moses' face after meeting God in the cloud. You have been marked by divine encounter, and that mark cannot be erased. Heaven's records now carry your name under a new title, trustworthy. It's written beside those who chose surrender over self, those who endured without bitterness, those who kept believing when others fell away. You have become one of them, the ones heaven calls dependable. The ancient words recorded in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8, declare, I know your deeds. I have placed before you an open door none can shut. You kept my word. This is your verse made visible. The open doors are before you now, doors that refused to open before, doors that seemed permanently sealed. Heaven is unlocking what effort could not move. But this time, you will not push them open in striving, they will swing wide in surrender. You are stepping into a divine rhythm where work becomes worship, and results follow rest. You are not chasing opportunities, they are being magnetized toward you. Every good thing that eluded you in the last season is now finding its way back in multiplied form. Imagine a tree that endured winter bare, still, unnoticed. When spring finally comes, it does not strain to blossom, it simply receives sunlight. That's you now. You have survived your winter, your branches will bloom again effortlessly. Your faithfulness in the cold has created fruitfulness in the light. And this fruit is not only for you, it's nourishment for those starving for hope. You have become a vineyard for weary travelers. Every word you speak, every act of kindness you give, feeds someone wandering in famine. That is why your voice must not remain silent anymore. When you share this message, it's not just about spreading words, it's about scattering seeds. Somewhere, someone is scrolling through darkness, ready to give up. One share, one repost, one echo of your faith might become the very light they need to survive their night. And if this message has spoken to you, if it has been like water in a desert, then take a moment to let gratitude overflow. Gratitude is not measured only in words, it's expressed in what we give to sustain the light that found us. If you feel led, consider supporting the creation of these messages, the same kind of message that found you in your lowest hour. Think of it as tending a lamp. Every donation, no matter how small, adds oil to the flame so that it can keep burning for others. Just as a single candle can light thousands without losing its own flame, your generosity keeps this fire alive. You're not funding a voice, you're fueling a movement of awakening hearts, healing souls, and restoring faith in a weary generation. If giving isn't possible, your act of sharing, liking, or subscribing already carries weight. Every click is an echo of agreement, a ripple that carries truth further. Each time you engage, you're joining a chorus of believers declaring, "The light will not go out." There's beauty in this kind of connection. Across oceans and time zones, hearts align through one divine story. You were tested, you endured, and now you shine. Your participation, however simple, becomes part of that sacred cycle. Receive light, reflect light, release light. You are now an ambassador of endurance. The same comfort that healed you must now flow through you. Heaven's seal on your life is not an ending, it's an assignment. You are being entrusted with influence, not for vanity, but for victory. So, as you listen, breathe deeply and feel the warmth of that truth God has placed before you. Open doors. Step through them humbly. Walk with gratitude. And if this message has poured strength into you, let that strength flow forward through your words, your support, your sharing. Because somewhere, someone still stands where you once did, tired, trembling, and praying for a sign that God hasn't forgotten them. Be that sign. Be that echo of hope. Be the continuation of this message beyond the screen. Heaven sees you, chosen one, not only as the tested, but as the trusted. And now, the seal is set, the door is open, the light is spreading. Chosen one, this is the hour when the faithful are being rewarded. You have crossed through trials that seemed endless, and now heaven begins to balance the scales. The reward for endurance is not merely comfort, it is transformation. You no longer crave what once consumed you. Your spirit now hungers for purpose, not applause. Every act of obedience has accumulated in the divine ledger. Every quiet yes, every humble prayer, every tear shed in silence, none of it vanished into the void. Heaven is meticulous. What you thought was forgotten has been waiting for divine timing. The reward was never lost. It was simply maturing. Like wine resting in a cellar, waiting for its appointed season. That season is now. Heaven has seen how you handled delay without complaint. When others rushed ahead, you stayed steady. When others compared and competed, you kept your eyes on God. That restraint, that sacred discipline, has written favor across your destiny. What is coming will not be random, it will be recognition from heaven's own hand. And in this recognition, peace will come quietly, not as a shout, but as a whisper settling deep in your spirit. You will feel it in the way mornings greet you gently again, in the way hope no longer hurts to hold. This peace will be your crown, invisible yet undeniable, placed by heaven itself. The ancient words recorded in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. Still, breathe life today. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. This is your harvest time. But not all harvests look the same. For some, the reward comes as restoration, relationships healed, hope revived. For others, it comes as revelation, a deeper understanding of purpose, a new awareness of divine intimacy. And for you, it may come as peace so profound that it silences every storm inside. The reward of the faithful is not always visible first. It begins internally. God starts by restoring your perspective before restoring your possessions. He rewrites the way you see yourself before he rearranges what surrounds you, because he values who you become far more than what you receive. You've learned that blessing without maturity can destroy, but maturity turns every blessing into stewardship. That's why the wait was necessary to prepare you for what would have overwhelmed you before. You now know how to carry success with humility, how to walk in increase without arrogance, how to enjoy favor without forgetting faith. Your past season felt like pruning, and in many ways, it was. The divine gardener cut back the branches that bore too many distractions so that your life could produce fruit that lasts. Every relationship that fell away, every opportunity that ended abruptly, was God removing what couldn't handle your growth. What remains now is pure, ready, aligned, chosen one. Your reward is not only in what you gain, it's in who you've become. You have become the answer to your own prayers, stronger, wiser, freer. You no longer panic when plans shift. You trust the process because you've seen God's faithfulness too many times to doubt Him now. That is wealth no currency can measure. And yet, there are tangible blessings being released as well. The things you thought you lost are being returned in unexpected ways. The years that felt wasted are being redeemed. Opportunities that once ignored you are now seeking you. It's not luck, it's the law of divine reciprocity. What you sowed in tears, you now reap in joy. But even as these doors open, remember the rhythm that brought you here: stillness, obedience, humility. The temptation in reward is to rush, but heaven's pace remains peace. Don't chase the blessing, let it chase you. Don't try to prove yourself. Your patience already did. The fruit of your endurance will speak louder than any defense ever could. You are entering a season where grace will go before you. Meetings will unfold effortlessly. Conversations will carry favor you didn't plan for. Situations that once resisted you will now yield easily. This is not coincidence, it's consequence. The consequence of faithfulness. The harvest of the faithful is never hurried. It ripens slowly, beautifully, in the warmth of divine timing. When it comes, it feels natural, because by the time it arrives, you have already become the kind of person who can hold it without trembling. That's what God was doing all along, strengthening your hands for the weight of glory. Look around, chosen one. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere? Peace has replaced panic. Clarity has replaced confusion. You no longer wonder if it will happen, you simply rest in the knowledge that it already is. Your reward is here, and it comes dressed in restoration, clothed in renewal, crowned with peace. What once felt like delay has revealed itself as design. Heaven has never been late, it has been precise. And you, beloved, have been faithful enough to finally see it unfold. Chosen one, love has become your authority. You no longer speak from pain, you speak from power. The kind that can only come from purified love. The world once measured strength by volume and force, but heaven measures it by tenderness that refuses to die. You've learned that real authority doesn't shout, it shines. It moves quietly but shifts everything it touches. There was a time when your words carried weight because of your wounds, but now they carry weight because of your wisdom. The fire that once burned you has become the flame that lights others. You've gone from broken vessel to burning lamp. You have authority not because you fought back, but because you forgave. Not because you were perfect, but because you were purified. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 2, verse 21. If anyone cleanses himself from what is dishonorable, he will be a vessel for honor, sanctified, useful to the master, prepared for every good work. You, chosen one, are now that vessel. Love has sanctified you, refined you, and appointed you. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer chase validation, you radiate truth. You walk into rooms and atmospheres shift, not because of charisma, but because heaven recognizes authority clothed in humility. This authority doesn't look like dominance, it looks like discernment. You can now see beyond behavior into brokenness. You no longer judge pain, you understand it. That's what love does, it gives vision to the blind spots of the soul. Your authority is not control, it's compassion that commands change without coercion. When you speak now, your words carry life. People will listen and not know why their hearts feel lighter afterward. It's because love flows through your tone, through your pauses, through the weight of your silence. You have become an instrument tuned to heaven's frequency. The power you carry isn't loud or proud. It's stable, steady, and safe. You've become a refuge for others without even realizing it. When someone stands near you, they feel peace. When they hear your words, they sense healing. That is divine authority at work, love expressed through presence. But remember this, the same way light attracts, it also exposes. As your authority grows, so will responsibility. Some will misunderstand your calmness as weakness. Others will project envy onto your peace. Don't be distracted. The assignment of love is not to be understood, it is to be undeniable. The world doesn't need more voices shouting commands, it needs hearts that lead through kindness. You are one of those hearts. Your softness now carries more weight than your strongest argument ever did. When you walk in love, even your silence preaches. Authority born from love carries the fragrance of heaven. It doesn't demand attention. It earns respect through consistency. You have proven that gentleness is not the absence of strength, but the evidence of divine control. You don't have to raise your voice to command storms. They already recognize the calm you carry. God has given you this power for purpose. You are meant to rebuild what fear destroyed. You are sent to stand in places where others only speak of hope, and to be that hope in motion. You will restore people not with speeches, but with your presence. You will break chains by simply loving those who believe they are unworthy of love. This is the new mantle upon your life, the mantle of mercy, the power of peace. You are not just a believer, you are a bridge between heaven and earth. Every act of love you release builds a pathway for grace to walk through others. So when you feel resistance ahead, remember, you are not fighting for dominance, you are maintaining peace. The real warfare is staying soft in a hard world. Every time you choose peace instead of pride, heaven releases another wave of favor around you. And if this message stirs something deep in your soul, if you feel the truth of these words settling in your chest like light after rain, acknowledge it, not just with feeling, but with declaration. Comment the number 555 below. The number 555 represents divine change, grace multiplied, and the power of transformation through love. It marks the moment when transition becomes triumph. When you write it, you are agreeing with heaven's new order in your life. The old has been burned away. The pure remains, and love now governs your steps. Type 555 as your sign of readiness. You are no longer learning to love, you are leading through love. You are stepping into influence not for yourself, but for souls who have forgotten their worth. Your heart has become heaven's microphone, and your voice, soft but sure, will awaken many. Walk in this new authority. Chosen one, the world is darker than ever, but you are brighter than you've ever been. Love is your crown now, your armor, your anthem. You've become a living proof that the greatest power in the universe is not force, it's forgiveness. And that is why heaven trusts you with more. Chosen one. In every story written by God, there comes a moment when those who once mocked must watch the miracle unfold. The same voices that doubted you, the same eyes that overlooked you, will now witness divine reversal. Heaven does not humiliate, but it does vindicate. It turns tables quietly yet powerfully, until every hidden truth rises to the surface like gold through fire. You are standing in that moment now. The shift has already begun. The same path that was once filled with obstacles will become the stage of your unveiling, not as revenge, but as revelation. God is not elevating you to shame your enemies. He's doing it to show that His mercy outlasts mockery. You were never meant to prove them wrong. You were meant to prove God right. Every accusation spoken against you has lost its voice, because heaven has already spoken a higher word, one that cannot be overturned. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. That stillness is not passivity, it's confidence. It's the calm of a soul that knows heaven is handling what your hands could never fix. You learned to stay silent when slander called your name. You let God do the talking through your endurance. And now, that same silence will speak louder than every rumor ever could. In the seasons when people misunderstood your motives, you wanted to explain yourself. But God said, "Let time testify." And it did. Time has revealed your consistency, your integrity, your purity of heart. The ones who once questioned you now quietly observe you, realizing that your faith was never a performance, it was proof of divine partnership. Vindication in the kingdom does not look like gloating, it looks like grace. When Joseph rose to power in Egypt, he did not punish his brothers. He wept. He understood that every betrayal had been part of the map that led him to his destiny. You carry that same spirit. You don't crave payback, you crave purpose. You don't desire revenge, you desire redemption. And that is why God trusts you with visibility, because you will handle honor with humility. You won't weaponize your testimony, you will use it as a tool for healing. Your rise will never be rooted in pride, it will be anchored in gratitude. Your enemies are not your focus anymore. They were chapters, not conclusions. Their resistance made you stronger. Their rejection trained your resilience. Their misunderstanding taught you mercy. You have learned to bless even those who bruised you, because you now understand that every wound carried wisdom. Heaven is now positioning you before the very eyes that once dismissed you, not to boast, but to bless. You will stand in places that once felt impossible. And those who doubted your destiny will have no choice but to acknowledge the hand of God upon your life. Some will even come to you for counsel, drawn not by your words, but by your peace. You will not need to say, "I told you so." Your transformation will speak for itself. The glow of peace on your face, the steadiness in your voice, the grace in your responses, these will be sermons no one can argue with. And as this unfolds, remember to keep your gaze fixed upward. The moment people begin to see you, be sure to reflect them back to Him. Let your success remain sacred, your platform remain pure. The same God who vindicated you will sustain you. Do not carry bitterness into your blessing. Let go of old pains so that your hands are free to receive new promises. If you hold on to grudges, you cannot grasp grace. Release them all. Every word, every wound, release it. Forgive quickly. For the higher you rise, the lighter you must travel. This public redemption is not about display, it's about demonstration. God is using your life to show that grace still works, that integrity still matters, that endurance still wins. You are a living parable of patience rewarded. And while those who once underestimated you begin to notice, Remember, they are not your audience. They are witnesses. Your only audience remains heaven. Your role is to keep shining without striving, to let your peace do the preaching, to let your fruit prove the root. The more God lifts you, the softer your heart must stay. The greater the honor, the deeper the humility. This is how the chosen carry glory. They wear it gently, as light, not armor. You are now walking in a season where recognition and reconciliation will intertwine. Some who once left will return, not all to stay, but some to apologize, to close the circle, to complete the story. Receive them with grace, but keep your peace protected. You are not required to rebuild every bridge. Some are meant only for forgiveness, not for travel. So stand tall. Chosen one. Don't look back to measure who finally understands. Keep walking forward, letting love remain your legacy. Those who once misread your silence will now read your success. And they'll realize it was never about proving them wrong. It was always about revealing God's rightness through you. The story has turned, and you are standing in your chapter of vindication. Still, the same humility that carried you through the valley must guide you on the mountain. Because the true mark of victory is not in being seen, it's in remaining surrendered even when the spotlight shines. Chosen one. The season you are stepping into carries a crown, but not the kind the world imagines. This crown is not forged from gold or jewels, but from every scar you carry. It is called the crown of tested love. Heaven does not crown perfection, it crowns perseverance. The glory resting on you now is not the result of easy faith, but of faithful endurance. Every wound you endured became a piece of the crown you now wear. Every betrayal, every unanswered prayer, every lonely night, each one shaped your spirit into something heaven could trust. You have been crowned, not because you conquered with force, but because you refused to stop loving when love cost everything. The ancient words recorded in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, declare, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." That is your promise fulfilled. You stood the test. You didn't let pain make you bitter. You let it make you brighter. You didn't let the storm drown your faith. You let it deepen your roots. You loved through misunderstanding, worshipped through disappointment, and believed through silence. That kind of love cannot go unrewarded. Heaven's crowns are not symbols of status, they are testimonies of trust. Your crown is invisible to the world, but radiant in the spirit. Angels see it. Darkness recognizes it. Everywhere you go now, you carry the fragrance of the faithful. You've been marked as one who has endured the refining fire and emerged as proof that love never fails. This crown is not light because the journey wasn't easy. It rests on you with the weight of wisdom. You have learned truths only pain can teach, that humility is stronger than pride, that gentleness conquers rage, that stillness speaks louder than shouting. You carry revelation now, the kind that cannot be taught, only lived. There was a time when you questioned why you had to suffer so deeply, why others seemed to find ease while you walked through fire. Now you see your depth of trial created depth of authority. You were being built for something weightier than comfort. You were being shaped for impact. The crown you wear is not just for honor, it's for responsibility. Heaven places crowns only on those who will use them to serve. Your authority now carries assignment. You will comfort those who carry what you once carried. You will speak peace into chaos because you understand chaos from the inside. You will become a voice for those still walking through their valley, because you remember what it felt like to walk through yours alone. Your scars are your credentials. The world hides its wounds. Heaven reveals them as proof. When you speak, you won't need to convince anyone of your authenticity. They will feel it. Pain refined in love becomes power that heals without trying. You've learned that love that survives the fire is no longer fragile, it's unbreakable. That is why you no longer fear loss. You know now that even if everything familiar fades, love will remain, because it is woven into your very being. You are no longer the person who entered the storm trembling. You are the one who exits it glowing. The crown of tested love doesn't demand attention, it carries peace. You no longer need to announce what you've overcome. Your presence already tells the story. Every step you take now radiates quiet victory, the kind that doesn't shout, but still silences doubt. In this season, God is entrusting you with influence that flows from intimacy. People will begin to notice that being near you brings calm, that your words hold unexpected clarity, that your silence feels sacred. It's not charisma, it's the residue of communion with heaven. Wear your crown humbly. It's not a trophy, it's a testimony. It tells the world that you have walked through fire and discovered that love is stronger than loss. You don't carry entitlement, you carry enlightenment. Every scar gleams like a jewel. Every tear you shed has been woven into its design. When you wake each day, remember, this crown is not to be hidden in fear or flaunted in pride, it's to be lived. Let your life become the sermon your scars began. Let your peace preach louder than pain ever did. Those who meet you will not know the full story, but they will sense something heavenly. They'll feel comfort without knowing why. They'll feel seen, loved, understood. That is your ministry now, loving without needing to be noticed, shining without striving to be seen. Chosen one. Heaven calls you trustworthy. You have proven that love can be tested and still remain true. You have become a living crown, humility wrapped in holiness, strength softened by grace. And as you continue walking forward, remember, the greatest royalty in God's kingdom is not those who rule over others, but those who love without limits. The fire didn't consume you, it crowned you. The ashes didn't mark your end, they marked your beginning. And from those ashes, heaven shaped something priceless, a heart that reflects his own. Chosen one. Restoration has begun to flow like a quiet river, steady and unstoppable. What you lost in the storm is returning, not in fragments but in fullness. But this restoration doesn't just rebuild, it renews. You are not returning to who you were before the breaking. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. The mantle upon your life has changed. You no longer carry the cloak of survival, you wear the robe of restoration. Heaven has entrusted you with something rare, the ability to bring others back to life. Not through preaching, but through presence. When they encounter you, they feel the safety of grace, the invitation of peace, the warmth of love that asks for nothing in return. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Joel, chapter 2, verse 25. I will restore to you the years the locust has eaten. Those years are not just time, they are identity, hope, and trust. Everything that was stolen through heartbreak, disappointment, or delay is being returned, not simply as compensation, but as multiplication. God does not restore to the same condition. He always increases what He redeems. Look at your life. Beloved, the things that once seemed broken beyond repair are becoming blessings in disguise. The places where you bled are now blooming. The people who walked away left space for divine replacements, those who will value your heart. Not just your help. Even your mistakes are being rewritten into mercy. Restoration is heaven's artistry. It does not erase the cracks, it fills them with gold. You are like a vessel of kintsugi, the Japanese art of mending broken pottery with precious metal. The fractures remain visible, but now they gleam with purpose. Your past no longer disqualifies you. It defines the strength of your grace. This restoration is not happening around you, it's happening through you. Every time you forgive, a wall falls. Every time you speak life, a desert blooms. You are heaven's tool of rebuilding, carrying pieces of divine architecture in your words and deeds. You've become a living bridge between pain and peace. People will walk across your story and find their way back to hope. You've been given this mantle not because you are perfect, but because you understand what brokenness feels like. That understanding is your anointing. The world needs that kind of restoration, gentle, genuine, grounded, and your story, your healing, your voice, they are the rivers carrying that restoration forward. When you share this message, it's not about promoting content, it's about extending comfort. Think of it as passing a cup of living water to someone dying of thirst. You never know whose faith might be revived by your small act of sharing. And if this message has stirred your heart, if you feel peace rising where pain once lived, let gratitude move you to action. Support the creation of these words, not as obligation, but as offering. Every donation is like planting another tree beside the river of hope. Every gift ensures that more hearts, lost and weary, can find shade under truth again. Even the smallest seed matters. A like is a whisper of agreement. A share is a ripple of restoration. A subscription is a covenant to walk this journey together. You are not just a listener, you are a co-builder of hope. Each gesture fuels the mission to remind the forgotten that heaven still speaks. Imagine a field after rain, the soil soft, ready, waiting. That is what generosity does. It prepares ground for more life. When you give, you are not just helping a message spread, you are watering seeds that will bloom in hearts you may never meet. And as you move through this new season of restoration, stay tender. Let gratitude be your song, and kindness be your echo. The more you give of your heart, the more heaven multiplies your harvest. Restoration grows through reciprocity. What you release returns greater. If this message feels like balm to your soul, take a moment and share your reflection below. Write what this season of restoration means to you. Let your words become testimonies that heal others still standing in their ashes. Your story, written here, might be the spark that reignites someone else's faith. You are part of something sacred now, a living network of restored hearts, healed voices, rekindled flames. Every time you share light, heaven notices. Every time you give, heaven multiplies. Every time you speak life, heaven echoes. So, let's keep the river flowing through your hands, through your words, through your kindness. Because somewhere, someone still believes they're beyond repair, and your story might be the bridge that proves them wrong. Restoration isn't a moment, it's a movement. And you, chosen one, are at its heart. Chosen one. Destiny is no longer waiting, it is unfolding. What was once spoken in whispers over your life is now manifesting in visible motion. The prophecies that hovered like clouds for years are finally releasing rain. You can feel it in the air around you, the weight of fulfillment. The calm before breakthrough turns into reality. You are walking in the intersection of preparation and manifestation. Everything you have endured, every delay that confused you, every detour that humbled you, each moment was part of divine choreography. What seemed like chaos was actually coordination. Heaven was aligning every detail until time, place, and purpose could meet perfectly in you. This is not coincidence, this is culmination. You are stepping into a rhythm written before the foundation of the world. Every season has built toward this. You are not arriving late, you are arriving right on divine time. It was proclaimed in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is for an appointed time, though it linger. Wait for it. It will come. You waited. You endured. You believed when belief felt like labor. And now, the appointed time is no longer a promise, it's a present reality. The things you dreamed of are materializing not because you chased them, but because you became them. Heaven doesn't deliver destiny to the unprepared, it births it through process. Every prophetic word spoken over your life required maturity to manifest. Words from heaven carry weight, and only hearts refined by patience can hold them. You've become that heart. Your spirit has been stretched wide enough to contain fulfillment without pride. You are now trustworthy with the weight of what you once only imagined. Fulfillment rarely looks the way we pictured it. Sometimes it comes softly, disguised as peace instead of spectacle. Other times, it arrives through opportunities so natural they don't even feel supernatural until later. That's the beauty of divine manifestation. It fits seamlessly, like the final piece of a long, intricate puzzle. What once seemed impossible now begins to feel inevitable. You sense doors unlocking without force, people appearing without explanation, moments aligning without effort. That's not luck, it's prophecy in motion. It's the fulfillment of every hidden preparation you didn't even know you were undergoing. And yet, even as this happens, God whispers, "Stay steady." Because fulfillment is not the finish line, it's the foundation for new stewardship. What you receive now will require the same faith that birthed it. The moment of manifestation is not a pause, it's a pivot. You're not ending, you're expanding. Chosen one, take time to notice how things have changed around you. The same places that once rejected you now carry welcome. The same silence that used to stretch endlessly now hums with divine activity. Heaven's machinery is turning on your behalf. Angels are orchestrating encounters, aligning resources, connecting paths. You're living in answered prayer territory. Though it may not feel dramatic, it feels designed. Your spirit has matured enough to recognize blessings without needing to broadcast them. You've learned that the loudest miracles are often the quietest ones, the ones that transform you inwardly before they reveal themselves outwardly. The true mark of prophetic fulfillment is peace, not pressure. Even now, certain long-prayed promises are waking up. Things you thought had died are stirring. Dreams buried under disappointment are beginning to breathe again. God did not say no, He said, not yet. And now, His yes is arriving wrapped in clarity. This new chapter will not demand striving, it will require stewardship. You are not being asked to prove yourself, you are being invited to partner with purpose. The same patience that carried you through waiting will now sustain you in walking. And though manifestation feels exciting, remember to guard your heart. For every open door, discernment must stand beside you. Not every invitation deserves acceptance. Not every platform requires your presence. Stay attuned to peace, it will always be your compass. You will know what to pursue, not by pressure, but by stillness. You'll feel heaven's breath behind certain movements and its restraint behind others. Trust both. Trust the push and the pause. Destiny doesn't rush, it flows. When God fulfills prophecy, He doesn't just answer prayers, He unveils purpose. You will look back and realize that the promise was never only about what you would receive, but who you would become through the process. You were never waiting for blessings, you were becoming the kind of blessing heaven could trust with more. This is prophetic fulfillment in motion, not a single event, but an unfolding journey. Every step ahead will confirm what heaven already decided. You are ready. The waiting wasn't wasted, it was preparation. The delay wasn't denial, it was development. So walk forward with quiet confidence. The prophecy has ripened, the vision has matured, and your life is now the living proof that God's timing is perfect. You are not chasing destiny, you are walking inside it. The page has turned, and fulfillment is the ink now writing your story. Chosen one. Eternity now recognizes your name. You have walked through the refining, the testing, the silence, the revelation, and now you stand as one branded by love that survived the fire. What you carry cannot be stolen, because it is not a possession, it is identity. You are no longer defined by what happened to you, but by what grew from it. You are marked forever by endurance. This is what heaven calls the eternal mark of the chosen. It is not seen with eyes, but felt in atmospheres. Wherever you go, peace follows. Darkness hesitates. Despair loses its grip, because you carry the residue of divine faithfulness and the fragrance of survival drenched in grace. The Word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 1, "Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine." Those words are no longer ancient, they are alive in you. You have been called by name, not by label or mistake. God knows the tone of your tears, the rhythm of your worship, the weight of your faith. You are His completely, undeniably, eternally. The mark you wear is not on your skin, it's in your spirit. It is seen in the way you now walk, not rushed, but assured, in the way you speak, not to impress, but to impart, in the way you love, not conditionally, but completely. Heaven's mark has altered your nature. You are no longer reacting to life, you are responding with grace. There is a serenity that now lives in you. Once, your heart raced with fear of failure, with the ache of delay, with the sting of rejection. Now, that same heart beats in harmony with heaven's pulse. You have become aligned spirit, soul, and purpose. You are not striving to belong, you know you belong. The chosen are not perfect people, they are purified people. They have felt the weight of weakness and discovered strength hidden beneath surrender. You have learned that holiness is not about distance from pain, but intimacy with purpose. Every scar you carry glows as proof that grace met you where logic couldn't. The eternal mark is not static, it breathes. It evolves with every act of kindness, every decision to stay faithful, every moment you choose love when bitterness beckons. It deepens with every prayer whispered, every truth spoken in gentleness, every silence held in wisdom. You wear heaven's signature because you have embodied its language, mercy. Now your presence itself preaches. You don't need to announce what you've overcome. Your peace already tells the story. People will feel something shift when they are near you. It's not mysticism, it's manifestation. The residue of your transformation carries power. Where you once brought questions, you now bring answers. Where you once carried wounds, you now carry healing. Chosen one, do you see what you've become? You are the evidence that endurance is not in vain. The world needs living proof that faith still works, that light still wins, that love still resurrects. You are that proof. You are not simply restored, you are redefined. Your footsteps now echo with authority, not pride. You carry the calm of those who have seen storms and learned how to walk on the water instead of fearing it. You have become the embodiment of peace after the flood. The rainbow is not above you, it lives within you. There will be moments ahead where challenges arise again, but they will no longer shake you. You have learned how to remain still while the earth quakes. You no longer beg for peace, you are peace. This is the mark of those who have passed heaven's test. They no longer seek signs, they become them. Your destiny is no longer distant, it's daily. Every word you speak, every choice you make, every step you take continues the story of divine partnership. Heaven's kingdom moves quietly through hearts like yours. You have become an extension of God's compassion in motion. The eternal mark also carries memory. It remembers your tears, your prayers, your silence. It holds within it the sacred history of your perseverance. Heaven does not forget those moments, neither should you. Let them remind you of how far grace has brought you, how deeply love has rooted you. This mark is forever, not to set you apart in pride, but in purpose. You have been chosen to be light that leads, truth that heals, love that lasts. You are part of heaven's lineage on earth, one of the living flames that will not be extinguished by darkness. So walk forward, chosen one, into the unfolding eternity of your calling. You don't need to search for proof of God's presence anymore. You are the proof. You carry within you a love that cannot be erased, a peace that cannot be imitated, and a faith that cannot be stolen. You have been called, refined, revealed, rewarded, and now sealed. The mark of the chosen burns bright, not as fire that consumes, but as light that guides. Every breath you take continues the song heaven began when it whispered your name. You are His forever loved, forever chosen, forever marked, chosen one. If these words have found you, it's not by chance. Heaven guided them to the very moment your spirit was ready to receive. You have walked through this entire journey, 17 divine steps of testing, refining, and revelation, and now you stand radiant, crowned in understanding. You didn't just read a story, you lived one. If this message has spoken life into the quiet corners of your heart, let that gratitude find expression. Share it, not for numbers or noise, but as an act of love. When you share light, you multiply it. Someone scrolling in silence right now may be waiting for this very reminder that they, too, are chosen, seen, and still loved by heaven. Leave a comment below, not just words, but a testimony. Write what part of this journey resonated most. What truth lit a flame inside you? Every comment becomes another heartbeat in this community of the faithful. A ripple that tells heaven, we're still listening, we're still believing. And if you've felt the peace in these messages, consider subscribing so that your spirit stays connected to this flow of divine encouragement. It's more than a follow, it's a spiritual anchor. A way of saying, keep speaking, I'm still walking. Like, share, comment, subscribe. These are not commands, they are small acts of faith that keep the light alive. You are not merely engaging with content, you're participating in a calling, helping to carry the message further than one voice ever could. So lift your head, beloved. The journey doesn't end here, it continues in every word you speak, every heart you touch, every act of love you release. You are the echo of heaven on earth. You are, and will always be, the chosen one,